I had earlier made an indication that Honorable Malema was going to join us later. He's no longer able to join us due to other commitments that he could not be able to reschedule. So we are going to proceed and allow you, SC, to conclude. Welcome back, Honorable Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Chair.
We will allow you and the SC to conclude your evidence. Over to you, SC. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Members, Honourable Deputy Minister.
Well, afternoon.
Maybe it's easier to answer the questions on a full stomach.
If it was my wish, I would have requested that us to conclude then, because I thought you intended to conclude at that moment. But with the wisdom of the chair said I must go and eat something so that I can concentrate proper. Probably I'll be better off now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Minister, Deputy Minister, I just want to test your... well, I labelled it as such, but it seems to me you say that there isn't much, or if anything, wrong with the South African police services because there's a few bad people. And does that mean that if and when these bad people, so-called, are identified and we get rid of them, as it were, by following whatever procedures have to be followed, then everything will be hunky-dory and the police service will operate as it should.
I thank you, Chair. Through you, I will be incorrect to say that if you remove 2 or 3 people that are problematic, you will then have a perfect system. Why I'm saying that the SAPS broadly it's okay is because you are talking of over 100,000 men and women who are in uniform. And those that are rogue or work with criminal elements do not represent a greater proportion of the police. You remove these rogue elements, you will have a police service that will be able to operate without people who are managed somewhere. But that does not suggest that the environment in which we work, you will not have people who get captured or who get influenced to work with criminal cartels. Criminals themselves, by nature of how they work, they will always want to tap into an institution that is meant to deal with them. They will want to outsmart the system. They will want to make sure that police don't get them. And the only way to do so is to also devise strategies or tactics to get to understand what is happening within policing. So the context within which we are fighting crime makes it impossible to have 100% insulated institution. We will have elements from time to time in it. So if this process assists us to clean the wrong elements, it doesn't necessarily mean 20 years, 30 years down the line, you will not find ourselves seated in a situation where we are confronted with elements who are working with criminals to undermine the institution. They will be there, but I believe if we deal with this, we will be able to do policing in the country.
Now, perhaps you're talking about at least two different things. The one that has emerged in this case is the infiltration, or certainly if Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi has his way, the infiltration into the whole criminal justice system
Yeah.
of drug cartels and high-end individuals, high-end because of the proceeds of crime, and the infiltration at the highest level. And fingers have been pointed at certain individuals in this hearing at the Matlanga Commission. So there's that, which we can discuss briefly. The other one is, you would agree, crime levels in our country is unacceptably high.
Yes.
And that would be, the causes of that would be incompetence, incapacity, a lack of funding, gaps within the police. I mean, I didn't particularly listen, but if you listen to the ballistics evidence at the Matlanga Commission yesterday, it's in the ballistics, which is so critically important because we have so much illegal firearms around. So it's very important to identify the right bullet and all that. But because we're underfunded, we don't have enough people to work in that particular area. And of course, the criminals know this.
Yeah.
And it's even worse when they have people on the inside who tell them this or who work with them. But so in this inquiry, we and this is to test your I don't know if it's a theory or if it's just your sense that some bad people. They're people highly placed, and according to the evidence, I rely on the evidence that if you join the dots, this directive on 31 December comes at this. Apart from it being 31 December, which is, you would agree, a highly unusual day or date to issue a directive of such importance. You're nodding your head, you agree?
I fully agree that the 31st, it's a...
So you do that, and then there appears to be, yes, according to you anyway, the minister chatted to you and deputy minister and so on. But the people involved in the PKTT, they're not consulted. Those are the facts, objectively. The minister relies on a number of reasons why or what informed the directive, including, a letter written to him. I'm sure you heard of the Mary Dahaas letter. Yeah. You heard of Patricia Mashale, who was referred to the Inspector General. But I put it only subsequently, but the Inspector General actually said that, look, it's highly unreliable. 70-80% of it hasn't been proven. But he relies on things like that. And there's other reasons. So, and then you have the disestablishment of the PKTT, a unit that you have rightly conceded was highly effective, and you can't think why it would be disbanded. But if you link the work that the PKTT does, because now its sort of role has also been expanded to Fort Hare, and it's now also assisting the Gauteng murder and robbery in relation to their dealings with a crime syndicate and a drug syndicate there, and the arrest on the 6th of December, which Kumalo says, when Mkhwanazi said that switched the lights on for them. Then you hear the evidence that Matlala said to the minister, allegedly. that Sabia was going to draft an affidavit which would implicate, to former Minister Cele. He's going to draft an affidavit implicating Khumalo in the theft of a stolen Rolex. So former Minister Cele must speak to Khumalo about this. Now, if all this is true, this you would agree, this points to a much more serious problem. And then fast forward into 2025, what appears to be the refusal of the minister to accede to a request by Lieutenant General Konazi to discuss the political killings task team with him, his apparent irritation, if not anger. I think you called it, what did you call it? He didn't appear to be satisfied.
I said he expressed his dissatisfaction.
Dissatisfaction. So the evidence from General Masemola, even he, further on into 2025, he says if you join the dots, then all this looks very suspicious. So I'm hoping to that was a fair narrative or fair summary of what we've heard thus far. Mm-hmm. Now, given that summary, isn't this more than what you're telling us? Because you also here to help us deal, because you address the challenges, but it seems to me pointless you addressing the challenges when you say, actually, the challenges is just get rid of 4 or 5 people and everything will be hunky-dory. And that's not what you're saying.
No.
Then you must tell us a bit more.
No, I said, SC, that the institution SAPS is intact. Yes, you have elements who do what they are not supposed to do. You remove these elements, will SAPS operate? I say it is operating now. It will operate better. But this does not mean that you won't have elements that do things that they are not supposed to do. Because if I say that, and 6 months down the line or 12 months down the line, something comes out that somebody is engaged in activities that they are not supposed to engage in, and then I will be asked, but you said it will never happen. So I can't sit here and say something like that. This is a big institution, as I said, over 100,000 men and women that are functional. You have a minority that is doing what is not supposed to do. We have these hearings now involving the minister, the national commissioner, the provincial commissioner of KZN as the main person. But the institution is functioning effectively despite this. This is an indication that the body is well. It's just that the body is not 100% well. Because if it was 100% well, we wouldn't be here.
Oh, well. I thought you said white. No, well.
No, well. Well, yeah.
Sorry,
so, yeah. So we that's what I'm saying, Senior Counsel. A perfect society or a perfect institution we wish to have, we will always have elements in it that are doing things they are not supposed to do. And I agree with your session around the resources that SAPS that have affected SAPS. For instance, the number of police officers that we have today is less than what we had in 2010. So over the years, people have been leaving because of old age, others resigning because there are other things they are pursuing. But we're not replenishing every year. It's in the past 3 years that the president intervened and we were able to recruit 10,000 personnel every year to join SAPS, which gave us 30,000 over 3 years. It has never happened in the history of South Africa to train 10,000 police officers at a go. And our institution could not carry these 10,000 at the same time. We had to talk to the army to provide barracks for us to train some of our officers. It was an intervention to try and build the personnel, because we have instances where in a shift you find 1 or 2 police officers working because of the shortage. So yeah, the issue of resources has been a problem, but there have been an intervention that assisted us to do, and I hope that the president will intervene again so that maybe in the next 3 years or 4, we can train another 10,000, which will assist us to stabilize the institution in terms of personnel. Of course, the resources, machinery, vans, and police stations, there is also a serious shortcoming in that regard, which we discussed and agreed that we must be innovative and think outside the box if we are to effectively deal with these shortages of building police stations, acquiring vehicles, and other equipments that are necessary for our operations.
Now, if you hear, like we've heard in this hearing, that highly placed ministers and former ministers share the telephone numbers and WhatsApp messages with well-known, notorious criminals or alleged criminals involved in high crime. Would you do something like that? Have you got any numbers of gangsters or people involved in crime at a high level? Do you share numbers with them?
I don't.
You don't, because you don't think it's prudent and it's the right thing to do?
I'm deployed here to be part of the team that fight crime. And at a political level, I must conduct myself in such a manner that I lend credence to that mandate that I have been given. So I will not knowingly have communication and correspondences with people who are engaged in criminal activities.
Because one of the things that it's a very important aspect that this honourable committee must look at is how do we restore trust and confidence in the South African police services?
Trust and confidence is earned by the actions that we engage in. If we interact with the South African population in such a manner that we don't earn their trust, we will not get that. I have said on several occasions when I interact with the leadership of the police and with communities that we must earn our trust. When we go to a community and we engage with the community must be able to say, we are happy with the conduct of police officials in our local station, in the district, in the province, and national. And until they say so, we must know that we have not reached that objective. But it is doable, because there are police officers both at a station level and even at a provincial or district or national level, who have earned the respect of our people by their conduct. And people come to have confidence in them. But if we engage in such a manner that people don't feel and trust what we say, it will be a steep hill. But it's doable because I've seen it practically, where we have intervened, for instance, at a locality, removed a station commander, put a new station commander, that station commander establishing working relations with the community. And the community will say, we are happy with this station commander. Or they will say, when you go and have a community outreach program, they will say, when you live here, you must live with this station commander, because he or she is not serving us to our satisfaction because of A, B, C, D.
But now the problem is worse than that. We're not talking about station commanders. The evidence here is that at the highest level of the police, crime detection, support services, policing, the HOCs, crime detection, crime intelligence. This is what's all emerged here, and yes, it does impact and affect.
Yeah.
The police, the members down there, because they take instructions from these high-level people. But if you have a minister or a former minister with the phone numbers, and not only phone numbers, but exchanging messages, or even worse, meeting with these people, what message does that send?
Of course, it doesn't send a good message, SC. The reason why the leadership of this institution have taken a decision to establish this ad hoc committee, and the leadership of the country have taken a decision to put a commission that are respectively led by Honorable Khanyani and Judge Matanga, is to precisely to get to the bottom of the issues that we are discussing, with the view that the day you rise out of this, and the day the Matlanga Commission rises, there must be action and consequences against anybody who has acted in the manner that undermines the rule of law and the integrity of the South African Police Service, the judiciary, and any other person who have abated these activities to happen. There must be consequences.
But
and if
Deputy
there are no
Minister,
consequences out of these two processes, we mustn't expect our people to respect and trust what we say we are going to do. There must be consequences after this.
But the way we get to the bottom of this is through asking people like yourself
Yeah.
in positions of authority, of importance, that we look up to as citizens to keep us safe. For you to come here and to testify and tell us exactly what is happening there. In that way, we unravel whether or not anything has gone wrong, and if so, how to go about fixing it. But we can. I'm still on this point of mine that
Thank you.
You can't simply say it's 3 or 4 or 5 people who are bad. We need more than that. I obviously can't ask you to make up stories, but you've been a deputy minister for 4 or 5 years. We can surely say you're in the know. You know what's happening.
Sure.
So tell us what's happening.
I have a chair through you, SC, explained what happened or what is happening. the details of criminality that is alleged to have been taken, you need to have the capability and the capacity to do that. And I think we have men and women with that ability. And I think in the Madlanga Commission, for instance, there are people who have been able to explain and unravel the communications that have been there, who said what to who, and what happened. And it is because of that capability that exists that we were able to put the dot. And we are here because of precisely that capability that is there within the police, because earlier on it was said that there were discussions that appeared to be innocent discussions, and in the course of our capability doing work, certain information emerged that then linked certain activities to what is happening in the country. So it is that capability that have been able to see, no, there is a problem here, what's happening? And that capability that enabled further investigations that then revealed more than what meet the eye. And of course, myself seated here before you, I preside over that capability, but I don't possess that capability myself. That's why within the institution, you have got your detectives, you have got your crime intelligence, who will be able to further probe and get to the bottom of things. So it is through that the issues we are discussing have been unearthed. I think on my part, I did what is necessary for me to come and explain what one has observed over the time, and I did that to the best of my ability without concealing anything from what had transpired.
Well, it seems to me that perhaps we should also, or Parliament should also look at the role that deputy ministers play or might play in the future.
Yeah,
Because either you're not telling us everything, or you don't know everything because it wasn't shared with you, or it's been hidden from you, which would be concerning for someone in the position that you're in. And perhaps if we look at going into the future, a deputy minister that you share with your other colleague, Deputy Minister Boshielo, should be more clearly defined, so that you can also act as some kind of so that there's some accountability on the part of a minister also, not to simply do his own thing. Because you would accept that the directive of 31 December was the minister doing his own thing. You can't say what went on in his mind.
You want a comment?
I want a comment.
Okay,
He
thank
didn't
you.
act in concert with you or your other deputy. He didn't consult.
Yeah. The existence of deputy ministers is a constitutional matter that within the constitution, the president can appoint deputy ministers to, in this case, the police.
But their roles are not defined.
The roles are not defined, but they must be defined by the minister as to delegate to the deputy minister. And the reason why that has not been done is because the minister was in a process of familiarizing and understanding the complexities within SAPS. And once he is clear on who must do what, he was going to do the delegation. because the president has instructed that ministers must delegate to deputy ministers and sign off and agree that these are the responsibilities of the deputy minister, and the deputy minister will be made accountable for this responsibility that he or she has been assigned with. And it is these responsibilities that the deputy ministers must be held accountable by Parliament, because Parliament have oversight over the executive, the minister and the deputy ministers. And in instances where a specific responsibility has not been assigned to you, you will then be accountable to specific responsibilities that are delegated to you from time to time.
But Deputy Minister, some with a suspicious mind, like me, because that's what I do for a living, would also consider the delay by the minister in defining those responsibilities, or rather delegating those responsibilities for you for now over a year, could also have something to do with the fact that the directive has now been issued.
I don't think, Senior Counsel, we could say that. The directive and the delegation of responsibilities are two different things. And the minister did not delegate because he wanted to issue directives before. I don't think he ever thought that way. It's just that for now you will say it's water under the bridge because the directive have been issued and the delegation has not yet been done.
Well, if
Senior Counsel, may we please take
sorry,
Honorable Ngola?
No, Chair, I think the last response covered my follow-up question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You may proceed, Essie.
as a new minister that has now taken more than a year to familiarize himself with how SAPS operates and works, which seems to be your rationale why the minister hasn't yet allocated those roles, because he's still getting to grips what's happening within the police. Is that right?
I don't have another explanation for that. I think that's what I assume is the reason why by now that has not been done.
Again, for those with a suspicious mind might say, well, he got to grips very quickly with why he should get rid of the political killing stars team and not the child trafficking team, the drugs team, you know, all those task teams, those specialist task teams, the mining team, all doing very, very important work. Mm-hmm. But this particular task team has been singled out.
Well, you can think that way. I can't explain why this one and not that one. I think the minister will be in a position to better explain that particular question.
Do you think?
Maybe just wait because we are sitting with some answers.
Okay. Deputy Minister, just then, lastly, your comment that it's highly troubling, extremely troubling, that you have one of the deputy national commissioners openly dissenting with the national commissioner, with a I think our most senior, I think he actually maintains that he's the most senior of all the high-ranking officer, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. You know, he's got his own opinions. So there's a clash with the National Commissioner. There's a clash with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, who acted as National Commissioner, as you know, in 2011, 2012. Openly having differences with them. And Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, highly decorated. Just about everybody who sat where you're sitting have praised him for the work that he has done. And then you have Sabia differing with them and with Khumalo. It's not a healthy state of affairs.
Yeah.
And you're here to also offer some help and some assistance on how do we remedy this situation. We know we're living in a democratic country with labor laws and with a constitution, and it's not a simple matter of just getting rid of people. But in the meantime, all of us sitting here, people watching, people out there, they rely on the police to keep them safe. So we need answers. If it's unfair, you can think about them and write them down and send them to us. And your counsel are here to listen to this. But if you want a brief closing comment or statement, feel free to do so.
Well, closing comment, yes, but I'm not sure whether you because you are saying that the National Commissioner, if I heard you well, General Mkhwanazi and General Sibia differing. What's my opinion is that, did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, I think it manifests a bigger, much bigger problem, a deeper problem, a systemic problem, and we need. You've been in this environment for many years, and that's why we've called you to come and maybe give us some help.
Let's see, the differences of the two officers, the three officers in here, I didn't have a full grasp of what could be the problem between them until when this thing come out and they stand here and say this one is involved with cartels and all those things. I was not aware that General Sibia relate with cartels. I saw him as a DNC doing his work, and Mkhwanazi doing his work in KZN, and Masemola being the National Commissioner. Of course, that there are differences of opinion that did emerge, and I did know that the minister met with the National Commissioner and the DNC and the PC, General Mkhwanazi, to try and assist them to get along, which I believe didn't yield the necessary result, even though they publicly say they work together, all of them. It's an unfortunate thing to can happen. But in an institution as big as SAPS, the leadership must learn how to create a team. Teams don't create themselves. The leadership prevail over individuals that you work with, and you create a team out of that. And it's clear that that did not happen. So it means that moving forward from here, there will be a need to assist the leadership of SAPS to be able to create a team around them, because without creating a team in SAPS, we will not be able to succeed in our fight against crime.
Now, whose responsibility is that?
It's the responsibility of the leadership, both the minister and the national commissioner. These are the people who are responsible to ensuring that a team gets established in an environment where there is no team. Because we don't need to agree, we don't need to be friends to be part of the family of SAPS. We must work together because our objective is to fight crime, and we must be able to assist one another to do that. But if the executive authority and the accounting officer can't create that team, then we will fail.
Then you become like Kaiser Chiefs. My team.
I didn't say that, Senior Cassel, but will fail. There is no team that win championships if they don't play as a team. You are a team, you are a goalkeeper, you are part of the back line, you are part of the middle field, you are part of the striker. You can't be a striker without a middle field. You can't be a defender without a goalkeeper. You must become a team. And working as a team means working as a team, not a by the way arrangement or as and when you feel like. Thank you.
But there seems to have been a failure in this case that's given rise to this inquiry.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree with you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister, Honourable Deputy Minister. And thank you very much, Honourable Chair, members. That concludes our questioning.
Thank you. Thank you so much, SC. Thank you so much, Advocate Mohaitz. I can see that you are a very good deputy. And like I've always emphasized, it's an inspiration for many women of this country when they see that Chief Whip who are swinging the pendulum for things to happen for women of this country. We want to thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister.